Hi, and welcome back to the series I have yet to figure out a name for. Today I will be discussing showing versus telling within a story and how you can use them in your own. Telling is the process of revealing information to the reader through the use of exposition and direct statements, rather than descriptive language and imagery. The main benefit of telling is that it can quickly provide the reader with information. It can also tell information that cannot actually be easily shown, like a person's thoughts or beliefs. For example, when stating that a character has a specific ability, telling would simply be the character stating, "I have the ability to make things rot very quickly." This line explains the ability quite quickly, but doesn't show it in action, leaving it up to the reader to actually visualize it. If used poorly, however, telling can lead to your story becoming overwhelmed with info dumping, where large amounts of information are just dumped on the reader. Consider the following passage. My ability is to control the rate of decay for any organic material. Using the energy field that permeates the universe, I can accelerate to the microorganisms that surround us all and use them to attack your cells. This passage does explain the abilities and how they work, but it provides the reader with a lot of unnecessary information. Put simply, when it comes to telling the reader information, keep the passages short and to the point. Rather than just simply stating information, showing is the process of displaying this information through the use of descriptive language. The main benefit of showing is that it helps immerse the reader in the story by allowing them to actually see the action. With the example mentioned in the previous section, the ability to make things decay could also be introduced by a character using the ability. For instance, I held up the apple and began to focus on the sensation I had felt before. Almost instantly, the green skin starts to turn a sickly black, and I can feel the fruit slowly turning into mush. The passage explains what the abilities are and what the effects are, as well as a bit about how they are activated. However, going overboard with these descriptions can lead you to slowing down the story with unnecessary details. Take the following passage. I held up the apple in my hand and began to focus on the sensation I had felt before. Soon the apple's green skin began to grow darker and darker, becoming a sickly black. The fruit slowly softens into mush and shrinks. A white fungus soon spreads across the surface of the fruit and is soon oozing through my fingers, leaving a sickly trail of rotted matter covering my hand. The additional detail to the rotting fruit doesn't add any information that wasn't already present in the original version, slowing down the story unnecessarily. To put it simply, when it comes to showing what happens, make sure what you show is important. Generally speaking, it is far better to show what is happening in a story, or the feelings and actions of the characters, than it is to directly state them through exposition. While it can be more difficult to write, showing what is happening is going to be far more engaging with the reader. With that being said, if the scene requires information to be quickly exchanged between characters, then it is usually okay to use exposition. For example, if the character is about to enter a fight scene, then using exposition to explain the plan is usually a good idea. There are also instances where using the two together can be effective. What I mean by this is, when one character is giving exposition about one element, we can demonstrate another element through the use of language. For example, the government is a bunch of squabbling councils barely keeping the factions from fighting each other. They make restrictive laws that seem to target a specific factional group, and whenever one of their projects backfires, they just shrug their shoulders and leave the mess to be cleaned by someone else. The passage is explaining to the reader what the government is and how it functions, while for the use of language it is showing that the character has a negative opinion towards them. Both showing and telling have their place in a story, and while it is preferable that you would show your story, sometimes you'll need to tell it as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.